When Olivia stumbled through the door that night, the clock had already crossed midnight. The house was quiet, the kind of silence that presses against your ears. I was sitting on the couch, pretending to watch a documentary I couldn't focus on. The sound of her heels against the hardwood floor broke the stillness, sharp and careless. She reeked of alcohol and perfume. Not the one I'd bought her last Christmas, but something heavier, unfamiliar. She dropped her purse on the table and swayed slightly, balancing herself with a lazy hand on the wall. Her hair was a mess, her lipstick smudged. When her eyes met mine, there was no warmth, no apology. Just that distant, dismissive glare she'd perfected over the past few months. "Where were you?" I asked quietly, keeping my voice even. She rolled her eyes. "Stop asking stupid questions, Daniel. It's none of your concern." That line hit me harder than it should have. None of my concern. My wife, my home, our life together, and apparently I wasn't entitled to know where she'd been. I didn't respond. I just watched as she walked past me, kicking off her shoes one by one, leaving them scattered like breadcrumbs leading to another argument. The smell of whiskey lingered in her wake. It hadn't always been like this. Olivia used to laugh when she came home, throwing her arms around me, telling stories about her day, about her students, her coworkers, her life. But lately, every word she spoke felt like a knife designed to remind me how little I mattered. She disappeared into the bedroom and slammed the door. I sat there, staring at the TV screen, where some historian was explaining the fall of an empire. Fitting, I thought. Mine was falling too, just quieter. When I finally went to bed, she was already asleep, or pretending to be. Her back faced me, shoulders stiff, like even in her dreams she wanted distance. The smell of perfume clung to the sheets between us. The next morning, she was up early, acting as if nothing had happened. She moved around the kitchen, phone in hand, scrolling, typing, laughing softly at something. Not a word to me. I made coffee for both of us, the same way I had every morning for 8 years, and placed her mug on the counter. She didn't even glance at it. "You've been going out a lot lately?" I said, breaking the silence. She shrugged without looking up. "Maybe I just need a break from all this." "All this?" I repeated. "You mean me?" She finally met my eyes, not with guilt, but with annoyance. "You always twist my words. It's exhausting." I wanted to tell her that I'd stopped twisting anything months ago. I was just trying to understand the version of her I was living with now, a stranger wearing my wife's face. But I didn't say it. I just nodded and left for work, though I couldn't remember the drive there or back. That evening, she texted me, "Don't wait up, going out with friends." I didn't reply. For the first time, I didn't even check her location like I used to. I poured myself a drink instead, staring at the glow of her unread message. The glass trembled slightly in my hand. Around midnight, I heard the door again. The same stumble, the same smell, the same careless thud of her heels on the floor. She didn't even notice me sitting there in the dark. "Olivia," I said quietly. She froze, her head tilted, her eyes adjusting to the dim light. "Were you with him?" The question escaped before I could stop it. She laughed. Not the soft kind, but the cruel, sharp one that cut right through me. "You really think everything revolves around you?" I didn't answer. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. She looked at me for a moment longer, then muttered, "You should get some sleep," and walked away. But that night I couldn't sleep, because the laughter, her laughter, wasn't alone. There was another man's voice echoing faintly from her phone when she'd walked past. The next morning, Olivia was humming in the shower like nothing had happened. Steam drifted out of the half-closed bathroom door, carrying the faint scent of her new perfume. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor, trying to convince myself that what I'd heard last night was just the TV, or maybe a song. But deep down, I knew it wasn't. When she came out wrapped in a towel, she glanced at me and smiled. A quick, artificial smile that didn't reach her eyes. "You're up early," she said. "I didn't sleep." She ignored the weight in my voice. "I'm meeting Claire for brunch. Don't wait for me." I watched her dress, each movement deliberate, detached. The woman who once asked for my opinion on every outfit now didn't care whether I even looked at her. As she slipped on her heels, her phone lit up on the nightstand. A message from Ethan. I didn't touch it. I didn't have to. The name alone told me enough. By noon, I was still sitting there, staring at the sunlight slicing through the blinds. It felt like my whole life had been reduced to waiting for her to come home, waiting for her to care, waiting for a reason to stop pretending. That evening, she returned with the same perfume and a smug calmness that made my stomach turn. She poured herself a glass of wine, leaned against the counter and said, "You're sulking again. Who's Ethan?" I asked quietly. The wineglass froze halfway to her lips. For a second I saw it, a flicker of panic, but then it vanished. A coworker. Don't start with your paranoia. Do coworkers send texts at 1:47 a.m.? Her eyes narrowed. You went through my phone? I didn't have to, I said. He texted while you were getting ready this morning. She sighed, long and dramatic, as if I were the one ruining her day. This is exactly why I go out. You suffocate me with your questions. There it was again, that word. Questions. As if curiosity about my own marriage was a crime. I nodded slowly. Then maybe you need more space. She tilted her head. What's that supposed to mean? It means, I said, standing up, that I'm done trying to understand someone who doesn't want to be understood. She laughed, dismissive. You're not going anywhere, Daniel. You wouldn't know how to survive without me. Maybe she was right once, but not anymore. That night, while she slept, I opened my laptop and started moving our joint savings into a separate account. I canceled the credit cards she loved to max out, closed the online shopping tabs she always left open. The house was silent except for the tapping of keys and the distant rhythm of her breathing. By morning, everything was done. I brewed coffee, 1 cup, not 2. When she finally came down, her usual irritation appeared. Where's my mug? Didn't think you'd want one, I said. She frowned, opening the fridge. Why is my card not working? I moved the money. Her head snapped toward me. You what? I moved my money, I said evenly. The same way you moved on. For the first time in months, she didn't have a comeback. The silence that followed was pure, almost cleansing. She opened her mouth again, then closed it, realizing the game she'd been playing had ended without her consent. I just needed attention, she said finally, voice small, almost human again. I nodded. And now you have mine. For the last time. I grabbed my jacket, the one she always called outdated, and walked toward the door. Her voice trembled behind me. Where are you going? Out, I said, echoing her own words. Don't wait up. The door clicked shut, and for the first time in a long time I didn't feel dread on the other side of it. I felt air, clean and sharp. Later that night, as I drove past the bar she loved, I saw her standing outside, phone in hand, scanning every car that passed. Maybe she expected me to stop. I didn't. Some lessons have to echo in silence. When I got home, I sat on the same couch where it had all begun. The TV was off this time. The house was peaceful. No perfume, no sharp laughter, no unanswered questions. Just quiet. And in that quiet, I finally understood what peace sounds like.